Well, it's a very, very important visit of the Prime Minister to the United States. It's a visit which is important at so many levels. On the one hand, it is a state visit, which means it is a rare honor. The Prime Minister, the first Indian Prime Minister, who's going to be speaking to a joint session of the US Congress. It's also been a day when India's soft diplomacy is there for everyone to see with the yoga event on the lawns of the United Nations earlier on today. The Prime Minister now on his way to Washington, D.C., where the business end, in a sense, of this visit will begin. Joining us now to look at this visit and indeed why today is such an important day, Ravi Shankar Prasad, member of the Lok Sabha of the BJP, former Union Minister and a senior lawyer, also a wonderful person. Sir, first question, do you practice yoga yourself?
Yes, I did for an hour in my Patna Sahib constituency today. I do. And nice talking to you, Vishnu, after a really, really long time.
Yes, Benny, it's a long, long time. You know, let's start with a little bit about the yoga, because an area where India has done so well is soft diplomacy. And we don't talk about that enough. We keep talking about the strategic relationship, etc., etc. But this is so important, not just for our health, which is obvious, but it's also because it establishes India internationally.
First of all, the speech of the Prime Minister in the UN campus was historic and also very emotional. Yoga is a bridge which connects not only your health, but also your inner self. And most important, Vishnu, his three expressions: it has no copyright problem.
Yeah.
It has no patent problem. There are no royalty issues. And then saying that Saboga Kalyan ho, that the universe be happy, that the whole world be one. These are the abiding values of Indian sanskar, Sanskriti, or civilizational heritage, in whatever way you wish to call it. And that juxtaposing it as a vibrant symbol of India's soft power in the most well-recognized international city like New York, in the presence of so many delegates globally, I would say was a remarkable statement. All of us felt very proud. And remember, he went to Gandhiji's bust, offer his flower respects there, and also talked about having a proper remembrance of the peacekeeping forces, not only of India, but also other countries who go in pursuit of UN mandate. Therefore, peace, amity, coexistence, and India's way of life was the most important shining symbol which he conveyed today.
And he's been incredibly persistent about this. For years and years now, he has pursued this, he has encouraged people, he's spoken about it over and over again in Man Ki Baat, any other forum that he could find, not just within our country, outside as well. And today it's an international movement. I mean, it's India's at one level, but it's also an international cause.
You are very right. Who made it? PM in the first address the UN General Assembly requested, and UN General Assembly immediately accepted, and 99% countries voted, because yoga is good for humanity. And this is how you convey yourself. But Vishnu, I would like to add a caveat. These appeals become universal. Who is conveying it? And Narendra Modi is a popularly elected Prime Minister of India. Let me share with you, you are a very experienced journalist yourself. In my very considered view, there have only been 4 Prime Ministers of India who have been elected by the people of India: Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and Narendra Modi. Rajiv Gandhi won because of the emotional outburst in the wake of unfortunate assassination of Indira Gandhi. Morarji Desai was not. Vote was for JP, in which we had the privilege to participate in the movement in 77. But what is important is, Modi ji is not only speaking, but he's also showing results. India has become an economic powerhouse, 5th largest economy of the world. Programs like Digital India, like UPI, like direct benefit transfer, infrastructure development, all have given a big heft to the might of India, which Modi ji is presiding. And therefore, when Modi ji talks about soft power also, it carries weight.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the relationship with the United States. If we were having this conversation, let's say 10, 15 years back, we would have perhaps been looking at it from a very different prism. It has been a relationship which in the past has been characterized by mistrust, by distrust. And today it is anything but that. What has changed?
What is important is a very extraordinary bipartisan approach, which is being witnessed in USA as far as India is concerned. And Vishnu, you may recall that most of the members of the American Congress requested that Modi ji should also address them. And therefore, the second unique historical opportunity he got in league with Nelson Mandela and Winston Churchill and all. But what is important is, in view of the tectonic shift happening in the geopolitical world, Vishnu, which you follow very closely, America is now perceiving, in my very considered view, that India under Narendra Modi is a very stabilizing force in Asia. And the way Modi ji could tell Mr. Putin also that ये समय युद्ध का नहीं है, ये समय शांति का है. I hope it was telecast also by all channels, including you. It went live. Therefore, the way he has advocated the cause for peace, the world is trusting him. And India is now under very responsible hands, and therefore India can be trusted. In view of all this, there is a new, I would say, acceleration or new energy as far as the interest of America and India are concerned. And obviously both are democracies.
You mentioned an interesting point, Russia. In as much as we are reaching out to America now, America is reaching out to us. There is an acceptance now, perhaps more than ever before, in the United States that India will remain friends with Russia. India has its national interests, its national requirements. But that doesn't stop in any way America from being friends with us. Therefore, a recognition of the core of our foreign policy, which is India first and no one bloc.
You're absolutely right. There's a very famous expression, rarely used in pursuit of foreign policy, hyphenated relationship. India has been able to exercise that right, that I have got my traditional relationship with Russia, long-term standing. Russia has been a long-term ally, friends also. But we also want to be friends with you. And if you want the world to be peaceful, if you want the Asian region to be more stable, India is an important player. And that's how I see a very metamorphosis in the geopolitical interest as far as the regions are concerned, and a conscious, deliberate recognition by the global power led by America that India is very important. Why I say so, Vishnu? Kindly see French president's approach. Kindly see British Prime Minister's approach. Kindly see German Chancellor approach. I'm only asking major powers of the world, Europe included. All of them are converging on this fundamental premise that India is important for global peace and also global growth. And therefore, this relationship is to be cemented more, made more stronger.
One final question, sir. Do you believe at one level, in terms of the geostrategic concerns that we face, it's this association with the United States on concerns about China, which premise a lot of what we are going to see as part of the state visit, which begins tomorrow?
Well, I would only say, if there is need for a message, Vishnu, the message is there. Okay? That how India is being treated globally, including by the premier power of the world, America. But remember one thing, while under Modi ji we have always insisted for a good bilateral relationship, we have never ignored our own strategic interest vis-a-vis Pakistan or China. You follow India's defense very closely. Now all the roads and infrastructure on the boundary between India and China, are they now completely proper or not? Which was ignored by the previous government. Yes. I don't want to make any political comment here.
No, you're right. It's true. It's a fact.
And second, the most important, when it comes to the digital security of Indians, ultimately who blocked 300 Chinese apps, including TikTok? Remember that? No?
Yes.
It was under Modi's command. I had the privilege to work
Yes.
in those segments under his leadership. So ultimately, it happened. Therefore, this capacity and the courage to take proactive decision in pursuit of India's strategic interest is a real hallmark of the leadership of the Prime Minister.
A final question, sir. And again, we don't talk about this enough. It's the Indian diaspora. And it's not just the Prime Minister meeting the diaspora as he does, not just in America, but around the world, but the contribution of the diaspora to making America what it is, not just in terms of highly skilled Indians, but Indians who are now deeply entrenched in the political process of the United States, people of Indian origin, both parties. And therefore, it's not just a simple diplomatic relationship between countries. It's one based profoundly on that human association.
You're very right, Vishnu. And you may recall the theme of Modi ji whenever he addresses NRIs in any country he goes. And it's very popular there. Become a good American, but also remain a proud Indian.
Yeah.
When you have this kind of a combination, then it sends a different message. But all this could happen only if India is able to give something to the NRIs to feel proud about their own country. And this India's growth, economic heft, digital heft, UPI today is a global brand, Vishnu. I hope you know it very well. Huh? Therefore, all these things, how India is transforming itself, is really giving a different weight to the passport of Indians who stay abroad. Yeah. They have told us, now our passport carries a different meaning.
Now, if only the Americans give us the visas a bit faster, I think it would make the work of the passport a little easier. It takes 1 year.
Very right.
It takes 1 year, sir, but they are working at it. They have issues which they're trying to address.
We are very happy that Indians are becoming members of Congress. Indian origin leaders are vice president. Many are governors aspiring to become. Good. We are very happy about it. Today we have Indians who are the Prime Minister. And Vishnu, on a lighter note, whenever I visit, and I won't like your viewers to know it, whenever I visit London, my famous spot is just by the site of Parliament, the statue of Mr. Winston Churchill, where is standing proudly Gandhiji in his own dhoti, half-naked fakir. Huh? Remember that? And today Mr. Churchill has to accept even Nelson Mandela. Mr. Churchill said Indians have low intelligence, they cannot govern. And today, a young leader of Indian origin is the Prime Minister of England. You see how the world has changed in the last 75 years.
Yeah.
Today, Indians are leading Google, they are leading Microsoft, they are leading IBM. The world is watching with glee this extraordinary capacity of Indian human resource. And that also makes its own impact.
All right, sir. Thanks very much for speaking to us, sharing your thoughts. Very, very important visit. But we're going to see a lot more developing tomorrow. Let's see how a lot of those crucial deals go about and the final signature and what they entail.